Here we go, people. This is Dr. Zoo on a Thursday afternoon, 9th of July, 2026. We are up and about, up and about. This is episode 88. 88, people. 88. Now, how good was that little jitty, that little tune? Unbelievable, because that's exactly, we're on fire. We are on fire. Haven't got any news on Austrac yet, people. Don't panic about that. But let me say this. We are preparing, ready like you wouldn't believe. I've seen some incredible work happening behind the scenes. It's going back and forward on changes here and there. Let's just start out with a couple of little minor things. Couple of little things to remind you of. One, firstly, people have been coming out thick and fast using Robert Novak's, our CTO, on the myzucoins.org site to see your wallet balance and last transaction off the split chain, the public ledger. The public ledger. That's what we're talking about. Try it. Give it a go. Now, a couple of things about that. If you take your wallet address, now remember, people, we talk about your public wallet address in your Zucoin wallet. The way to access that is press the receive button at the bottom, because what it says is that if you want to receive coins, you've got to share your wallet address. And on that, you can copy and paste and share and send and do what you like. That can be sent around the world. No damage can happen by sending your public wallet address. They can't steal anything. They can't do anything with it other than send you a coin, which is fine. If they send you a coin, make sure you press the button that says you accept it with our two-factor authentication, because that is exactly what we want to see happening. Now, if you take that and you copy that wallet address in your wallet and plonk that into the SplitChain Network search engine, which is on myzucoins.org, up pops the magic confirming the balance in that last transaction. Now, you got to remember, because that's your wallet address, it's your details that comes up first. And people either are sending and receiving transactions, which means what it'll show is you as either the sender or receiver, depending on your last transaction, because sometimes you receive and sometimes you send. And that's why it says this wallet is for the as a sender or receiver. That's you. And underneath, there's a little bit of detail about the corresponding transaction from wherever you sent or got the coins from. Now, that information at the bottom may not be correct, because the person that, whilst your information is fully up to date, and that's exactly what the split chain records, that it's from that wallet address, the receiving wallet address, for example, they might have done 50 transactions or 1,000 or 1,000,000 transactions since you last did that transaction. So that balance, you probably can't take too much notice of, because whilst it is a historically correct record when you did the transaction, the other party on the other flip side might have been busy and actively doing things unbeknown to you, because every other transaction is only localized in your local wallet, and that's the privacy aspect we love so much. We love it so much, which is perfect. So give that a whirl. Look, I will say, and I can't use his name, but he's one of our greats. He's one of the greats. He's been one of the biggest supporters. He'll be receiving some inaugural Zucoin awards at some stage in the future when we have these conferences that Dr. Zoo wants to have. Got an unbelievable couple of Zucoin holders up north that have a property. And let me tell you, we've already said we'll go out bush. Go out bush. There's a bar. There's fantastic setup. There's music. There's bikers. There's all sorts of wonderful stuff. You'll just be able to relax and enjoy. And we said, let's tick that box as one of our outback experiences for the Zucoin family. For those that have stuck with us, the early adopters, the risk takers, the people, the true people committed to the cause and understand what we've succeeded with, because we have succeeded and ticked boxes like you wouldn't believe. Don't worry about Zutopia. It'll be the biggest ticker boxer there, but that's only the start. We want the Zoo vision to take effect, everybody, and you know what that is. But we do have things like that lined up. We're getting people coming to us now saying, let's do a conference here, there, and everywhere. Got our Bahamian friends, keen as mustard. We want to get out there on Wee Willie's boat. If you haven't heard about it, look it up. Willie's boat in the middle of the Caribbean. Beautiful, 25-degree water. And that is another prospect for a convention. We're going to make this happen all around the world. I want to get the Zoo Bar going. The Zoo Bar. It'll be a brand new concept. It'll be unbelievable. It'll be unbelievable. You don't have to pay. You just come in and show how many coins you got. The more coins you got, the greater and the better the wines that you'll receive and the top shelf drinks that you'll get. That's the vision. That's the Zoo vision, to globalise the connectivity to our community. We want to grow the community on a scale unheard of. Now, just speaking on that, so one of our friends, just coming back to the network SplitChain search engine, what he did, he went beyond the Call of Duty. Instead of putting his wallet address in, he went and got the last transaction from his wallet and didn't really look at it too much, and ended up copying and pasting the wallet address of the person that had sent him some coins. And of course, when he put that in, guess what happened? Because there'd been a lot of other transactions, he was actually watching and viewing the balance of the sender's coins and wallet. It wasn't matching up to his wallet. And he said, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's not working. It's not. Look, I've done the search. I put the wallet address in. I've done the search. And then the balance doesn't work. The whole thing's stuffed. It doesn't work. Oh, my God. Anyway, it turned out he realised that he was being too clever and effectively got a public wallet address from someone else. And, of course, their wallet address was different to his. And, of course, they had different information that came through because he simply didn't press the receive button down the bottom for his wallet address. Just be careful, people. Just think about what you're doing. But that's an example that Dr. Zoo didn't see coming. Not much I can do about that because it's just about, a bit of common sense. Check your wallet address and put it into the split chain. Now, just on that, once you've got the split chain, of course, you've got an independent verification now. So we're getting a lot of queries coming through from people with significant holdings. And in Dr. Zoo's world, anything over 10 coins is significant. I can tell you now, sit on 10 coins. Whatever you do, whatever happens in life, 10 coins, you won't regret it. One day you'll say, when Dr. Zoo is dead and buried and gone and vaporized, that you'll look back at those 10 coins and say, the best thing you ever did. Best thing ever, keeping 10 coins tucked away. Now, that's what the split chain now allows, accessibility through open transparency in terms of the chain. And remember, the split chain is a world-only concept. There is nothing in the world like it, ever. It caches the last transaction. It can scale infinitely. It can have mind-boggling, blowing speeds of 100,000 plus transactions per second. Good old Ethereum. Poor bastard, Vitalik, there he is. He's struggling at 15 to 30 transactions per second. I'm going to talk about him today. That's on the agenda. Before we get there, let's just circle back to what we're doing, the split chain. Because of that, we don't have the heavy lifting of the blockchain. We don't store all the data going back 500 years. It was changed by the great Italians. Lucia. He said, double entry accounting, forget all that stuff. Don't need to carry it around with us. Now, all of a sudden, that's the difference in the firepower, which allows us to have trillions of transactions, Zutokens, Zucoins, integrated, Zutopia, you name it, it's all there. That's the big differential. That's why you guys are well in front, because every box has been ticked, and now we're accelerating at a rate of knots into the fun part. Once AUSTRAC comes through, Dr. Zoo's very confident. Shouldn't be an issue, really. Dr. Zoo got an AUSTRAC letter today, not about our application, but from his lawyers. There's a bit of excitement happening with the alligator blood case. In fact, Dr. Zoo will probably be away. He'll still have his show. He'll do it live, broadcasting from Brisbane. Be up there for a hearing on the 22nd, 23rd. Depends whether they want to go ahead with it, because there's a few wombats on that panel to do with alligator blood. I believe it. There's some blood missing. We won't talk about that because that is a tangent, but there is some blood missing. There is some records missing. Could be conspiracy. Dr. Zoo's excited. He's decided to handle that case himself without legal representation, to have a bit of fun, a bit of enjoyment. Tackle the panel, get onto it, and away he goes. But the lawyers sent a letter today, and as part of that, there was nothing too scary about it. Lawyers just generally like to send letters about paying the bill. which, as you know, people, has cost Dr. Zoo squillions over the years. Millions. Not because of self-gratification, but because of the things we do, like getting our legal yard in order around the world to do with compliance issues, Zutopia and all the rest of it, making sure Zucoins don't get hit by the SEC or the European market or MICA, as you know. Every penny well worth spent. But guess what? The letter today was one of the first Dr. Zoo has seen from a legal firm saying that they are now bound by the new AML laws that took effect from the 1st of July, and they got themselves caught up with registration as a law firm. We knew this was coming. Small businesses coming out of the block, well, even though they're a big legal firm, they've got to go through all this headache. And suddenly they've now got a division of people making sure that if you want legal services, they want to know exactly who you are, where you are, what you've done, your background, your source of funds, what's going on. And guess what? They're not going to wear the cost. They sent the letter because they're going to add on top the costs of what it costs them to meet these multi-millions of dollars of compliance. There you go. Boom. Exactly. Thank you very much, David Pocock in the Senate and Jackie Lambie for increasing costs to the consumers, because it's not the businesses that wear it. They on-forward those costs. Not like Dr. Zoo. He hasn't issued 1 cent of the millions that are going to be required on the AUSTRAC registration to anybody. He's going to make a fortune out of Zutopia, though. Let's put that on the record right here and now. If the great man CZ can make $45 million a day on Binance with selling rubbish, Zutopia is going to be absolute honeypot. That golden data underneath is absolutely massive. Massive. We talked about that the other day. Someone raised the prospects that they'd found some information about Dr. Zoo's ideas on a liquid support fund. These things are all on the agenda. Nothing has changed. The vision has been there for some time, and it's really coming together. Now, it's come together so well, as of today, right here and now. If you go to the website, and look, I don't want to have to, babysit everybody through things, but you'll go to the website and you scroll down and there's a video. There's a video there that you can learn more. And it is the Zoo Vision has been put on the website literally an hour ago, 1 hour ago. Please look at it, listen, enjoy, because all the boxes of all the things we've wanted to build and do is coming together and is in that video. It's a educational video about how we can see the wealth grow as a result of the achievements. And I can tell you now, as far as Dr. Zoo's concerned, Bitcoin's dead and buried. Gone. Gonski. Now, Dr. Zoo doesn't like to think he's a Nostradamus on these things, but certainly we did warn about the problems and pressures from overseas. You can't trust the Iranians. We said that. Fundamentally, that was never going to happen. 2,000 years has been a pain in the ass. Look what's happened. Poor old Trumpy, stuck with a piece of paper that I did say to you that the only thing Dr. Zoo would do with it is share with his bum the memorandum of understanding, and the only way to sort out that crap is hit them hard. Boom. Boom shakalaka. Because they're affecting everything else. Oil prices going up again. There's tension around the world. People, stress. Middle East again. We're back in the black into it. Dr. Zoo warned about that. He's still warning about a big October crash. The numbers are all sort of stacking up. We've got to be ready, people. We've got to have Zutopia firing on all cylinders at a million rates or not. Why? Because you'll have Zoo tokens on there as well, and you'll have the capacity to have a value that can be reflected when Dr. Zoo wants to unleash himself on taking over companies that are undervalued because they've been smashed to bits by share prices, as in going down. That's his belief. That's what we believe here in the team, in the inner sanctum. You've got the big picture. You've got the coin price. We get to $1,000. You guys won't even probably ever talk to Dr. Zoo again because you'll be too busy running around buying stuff. You'll be the only people saving the economy. That's what's going to happen. Everyone else will be rat shit. Bitcoin, gone. Why do I say that? Yes, the price is there. It's been propped up. You've got Michael Saylor running around trying to cover his $80 billion debt like a headless chook. The system doesn't work. The problems have been solved. Look at the video we put on the website today. It explains that differential clearly. There's also an updated version on the website today of Bitcoin versus Zucoins. It cannot compete with the technology we have invented, tested, and is working right here, right now. As we speak, SplitChain. What an extraordinary concept for future growth and utility. You will read about it, you'll hear about it, and you'll listen about it. That is all there in preparation. As soon as we get that AUSTRAC, press that green button. Riley, we know Riley's listening. He has got clear, unequivocal instructions. Moment that comes in, that goes boom. And then we can get on to the good stuff. Let the trading happen. Unleash Zukaz. You know about Zukaz. You're aware of Zukaz. Go to zukaz.com. Refresh your minds about how powerful that is. The second version is looking absolutely sensational. We never would have had our heads on this concept about how powerful our marketing is going to be. Direct marketing, distribution, merchants, onboarding, databases, crush the big dollars and the billions made by Meta and Instagram and all those ridiculous products and stupid social media issues. They're all facing fines and penalties. We don't. We just want good money, good delivery between merchant and consumer through Zoo tokens that you can either get directly through your phones because of push notification. The only crypto in the world that has that. Be satisfied with what you've been able to see the success of things happening, people. It was a 9-month headache, 9 months longer than we thought, but it is an absolute godsend. It helps Zutopia with instantaneous transactions, pump fires the Zoo tokens that you can go straight to your phone. It allows you to go hunting and collecting the Pokemon Go, creates geo mapping, creates a massive database of anonymous people, and all of a sudden, look out. That's where the money's made, Zutopia. And then you've got all this real-world asset tokenization because you've got seamless movement of value. Dr. Zoo's been blown away this week. The amount of people that are now realizing they can do things outside of Zutopia in their own little worlds has been staggering. Goodness me, it's taken 12 months or more to get people's heads on this. Don't sit back. Don't ask what Dr. Zoo can do for you. Ask what you can do for Dr. Zoo. Think about it. Get out there, make it happen as well. We'll do it. We're going to make it happen because we want that gold stream. That is Dr. Zoo. In fact, Dr. Zoo's family's getting excited. They're starting to become a bit of a reality check that this thing's bubbling along in the right direction. It could actually happen. It could be that G800 out on the Albury Airport. Going to have to take a bit more legal action, though. It turns out that some bureaucrat wombats decided that private jets aren't allowed to land at the new Western Sydney Airport. What sort of craziness is that? You got to be kidding. Just because Gina's got some money and she pays billions of taxes through the royalties that she pays, someone gets worked up. Who cares what Gina's got? Her old man, if you read the history of him, he busted his ass sitting out in the middle of the desert, getting all dusty and cooked up at night, trying to work out whether there's iron ore or not. Someone's done the hard yards. If you'd work hard, you get the results. You guys have worked hard. There's people around you that doubted what's happening with the whole concepts and the ability to achieve what we've done. That's why I say Bitcoin's dead. The rectification of it can't happen. That's why they're going to try and freeze poor old Satoshi's coins. I feel sorry for Satoshi. He had the vision. The white paper was there. It doesn't work. Got out of hand. The miners are in trouble. They can't make any money. I think we're down to 62,000 again because old Trumpy, he realised he can't deal with and it's in his words, he said, the scum, the Iranian scum. How long's it taken to work that out? These buggers have been trying to kill the Westerners for years. Kamani, 40 years ago he said that he wanted to vaporise the US of A. We love the US of A. Had their celebrations the other day, went a little bit pear-shaped there with the rain. But 4th of July, cracker night, biggest in the history of mankind, apparently, Guinness Book. Light lit up the sky. Boom. We love the US of A. 1776. What a great story. We're doing the same. So we don't worry about Bitcoin anymore. You've got the comparisons. We tick the boxes. Bitcoin can have its 7 transactions per second. Massive weight of fees, costs. Never buy a cup of coffee. Never have utility. speculation. You got the pressure there from good old Michael. You got all these overhang of billions of dollars, and rah, 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 on it goes. And you've got this massive blockchain that can't handle trillions of transactions. We do that. We tick that box. We've done that. We've succeeded. We can help Bitcoin. I've got a few people. I had an interesting approach the other day from some people out of Europe that said, listen, if you can show, which we did, the success of being able to get quickly onto the split chain with the volumes we talk about, they are now looking at putting wraps using fractionalization of Zucoins around Bitcoins. Oh, now Dr. Zoo didn't ingeniously come up with that idea. He just sort of suggested it and said, okay, let's put that together. That's something you can do now and start the process. Tinker with it, play with it, get it ready for Zutopia. And that's what they're going to do, because you can move the Zucoins 24 hours, 7 days a week, even as fractionals, 32 decimals, anywhere you like it, no fees and costs. There is no fees and costs into the network. Now, how do we know things are really starting to beef up? We had 25,000 new visits last week. 25,000. Think about that. We haven't done anything. Word of mouth. That's the greatest marketing viral strategy on planet Earth. It's how Google got going. They didn't go spending billions of dollars on ads. You don't need it. Forget it. Get out of your head. We don't need worrying about mainstream media in terms of the marketing. The only marketing we'll do, however, if we happen to get into the top 10 or the next phase in terms of the Australian Financial Review rewards, because they're crawling all over what we're doing, which is fantastic. We are happy. Come in, open the doors and have a look, squiz around. Same with the Austrac. Big thing, big. We don't need the regulation requirements in Europe because it's just not the same laws there, or South America or US of A. We are in box seat. We can unleash the beast as a result of that. Now, before Dr. Zoo gets into his little topic, because we've smashed Bitcoin, we're happy with that. You mightn't say that in terms of price, but that'll take its time. That'll sort itself out. In terms of the technology, the invention, where crypto's evolved, we are next gen. We can put that right on the table here and now. We can invite Satoshi to challenge it. We can invite anybody to have a look at it and say, right, boom, stick to your old stupid blockchain, stick to the Great Wall of blockchain, because it won't continue to work and be operational. How do we know that? Because the topic today is where we're now starting to focus our attention on Ethereum. Ethereum, it sort of crawled out of the wreckage of the concepts of blockchain, evolved from the Bitcoin, and decided let's try and enhance the utility of what the concept of Bitcoin was all about, rather than a speculative bubble. And let's try and see if we can create a new token, the ERC20, for example, and put a smart contract and make some utility worth as a result of that. And that's what Ethereum tries to do. Gas fees. The whole model works on fees, people. I'll talk about that in one sec, because Dr. Zoo just wanted to have a little bit of another box that's been ticked, because he loves to think, if Elon's listening, we love you, mate. We love you. Don't you worry about that. The vision of other people going to Mars is perfect. I would suggest that in the future you might have some free trips with the Iranians, that they can enjoy themselves and knock themselves out there in space and whatever they want. They're not happy with life. They're not happy with the planet Earth the way it's going at the moment. That's an opportunity which Elon could deliver. But imagine this, eh? Now, I raised this last time about losing 163 billion in a night. It just goes on and on. The numbers are mind-blowing, people. Again, Dr. Zoo's not suggesting he's Nostradamus, but we did talk about the problems with SpaceX, especially when you have a balance sheet that's out of whack, completely out of whack with the, the capital investment requirements and all the rest of it. And I won't go over that again, because it just drives out Dr. Zoo insane. Best thing Elon could do is take some advice from his advisors and merge with Google. Bring the two together. Boom. Be a great idea. Space, AI, people, consumers, database. It'll be a magnificent merger. Won't happen probably, but he should launch a full-blown bid. But look what's happened. In 2 days, we get the news. They raised this $80 billion. You got all the big gun banks in there. They're like leeches. This is why the big players cause problems. Dr. Zoo told you this. That's why we want 100 million plus people on the system, buying fractions of coins, increasing the price and the value. You don't have that pressure cooker. You can transact and do what you like and create utility. That's the difference. No fees and charges. Dr. Zoo doesn't need that money on charges. That's why he built it that way. He could have, you know what? In the early days, every model on the planet, whether it was proof of stake or proof of work, all revolved around trying to make money out of fees. Same today. Stable coins got off the rails. They're trying to make money out of fees. They have this, extraordinary concept. Even though we can't find where the dollars match up in stable coins, there should be a custodial account that you can look up, just like the SplitChain. The public can get access through your own public wallet and see that you've got confirmation on the chain relating to your coins and your balance. Now, that's what should happen with the ability to look up stable coins. That there should be, if there's 100 billion stable coins and they're matched one for one with US dollars, you should be able to do a lookup. And they should pop up and say, boom, there's $100 billion with JP Morgan sitting in the account XYZ. That's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be all this mystery and hidden secrecies. And this is where people go a bit naughty because they hide this stuff, which, raises a red flag. They hide it. But anyway, that's why Dr. Zoo decided not to have fees, because he wants global movement, a seamless movement, which is now powerhouse capability because of notifications. Because someone like Robert got his head on tinkering and playing with and effectively changing and re-engineering all the tech to do with simple notifications that we all take for granted. But when you take 390,000 lines of code and smash it down to 20,000 to do what you guys can now do, you won't get another crypto like it. Won't happen. Satoshi wouldn't have ever had that in his brain, nor has Vitalik in Ethereum, I can assure you, and I'll go through that in a minute. But let's go look at SpaceX now. For those that have been hammering the hell out of Dr. Zoo on this value thing, 163 billion last week in a night. Guess what? The last two nights, well, Dr. Zoo's been pretty busy with his international clients and staying up a bit late, dealing with some good stuff with Robert and the team on the website. Wait till you see the Zutopia site coming up in a couple of weeks, people. It really looks swish. If Gen Z don't get their head on this, they deserve everything they get. They deserve to be on the dole. They deserve to be Labor voters. They deserve to have no inspiration, because Gen Z needs to get off their butts. Look at what's available. Have a look at Dr. Zoo's project with Zutopia. Put a couple of handful of coins in your back pocket. Be creative with AI. Get out there and build some tokens that relate to real world value. Talk to your local businesses. Fire them up. Help the local businesses. Save a problem for them so they don't need to lose money on advertising because some idiot's got a bot that's pressing impressions at 5,000, impressions a minute and do nothing. Doesn't have any successful sale conversion. But in the last 2 days, SpaceX, poor old Elon, he's dropped not him personally, the whole company, actually, it's the capitalization value. He's got about 48%. $300 billion down the toilet in 2 days. At this rate, they're losing $13.17 billion for every $1 drop. It's fascinating. If you get a chance, put SpaceX, the code, into your phone and just look at the fluctuations. It's amazing. 1 minute it's up 13 billion, next it's down 26 billion, and then 76 billion, and then it's back up. It's an extraordinary thing to watch. It's the most unbelievable thing to see in a capital world. Dr. Zoo loves capitalism. This socialistic crap is just crap. Forget about it. It shouldn't even have a word called socialism. It could be just stupidity. Stupidity. I've done a thesis on it. One day you'll share it with the world. Done a thesis on Iran too. Share that one day. Not now. We just focus. We're focused on what we've got to achieve and do for our own purposes. But what was even more amazing, despite the drop in the share price, because it's all about demand, supply and demand. This is where Dr. Zoo wants you to go back and have a look at It's Zoo Time. Now, if you have a look at It's Zoo Time, we put the links up this morning as a revamp of the site with It's Zoo Time. You might recall those there. We'll revisit those at some stage. We start to conduct more interviews with some of the people we're dealing with over the journey. And you will see every single episode of It's Zoo Time. You go to the top of the page on Zucoins.com. you will see there's a drop down there. It'll take you straight through to all the episodes. And let me say, take the time. Look at Season 1, Episode 4, Long-Term Values, QTM, Quantity Theory of Money. Dr. Zoo talked about that, expressed his views on it, and it's starting to come true. That was on the 17th of September 2021. 2021, people. Nothing has gone old. It's all relevant. It's today. It also talks on Episode 2 about crypto values generally. And there's a huge amount of information about these coins with no utility, starting to vaporize big time. We talked about the exchanges, 2,800 exchanges, Gonski, gone, 174 left. And we're coming out of the blocks. We are there because you've got the tech supporting it. You can get as comfortable as you want and play with it as much as you want now because the tech is delivering. As I said, Bitcoin. Dr. Zoo, don't even worry about that anymore. That's just a hyperventilated scenario of people wanting to speculate like the tulip bubble back in the 1500s. Nightmare that was. On the close point of SpaceX, because it's all about value and demand. That's what creates the demand and what we do with affecting directly our position when we're talking back to Zutopia on price rise. What you're interested in, that's what you want to know about. That's what we're wanting to make sure we can achieve because of that quantity theory of money. 2021. Now, only 2 weeks ago, a whole truckload of people, which is retail, most likely, comes back from the money that comes in from super funds and all over the place because it's the consumer that takes it fair up the you-know-where, as what our illustrious leader has said, anal tearing. That's one of the great statements of the 20th century, 21st century, even the 19th century, anal tearing, elbow. 2 weeks ago, can you imagine it? You put $25 billion into a debt instrument in SpaceX, and you wake up last night and you're down 5%, and the credit rating has already dropped. How extraordinary is that? But guess what? The big banks don't care. Because why? Because they've banked $500 million in fees. They've sucked the fees out of the joint. $500 million. Imagine transferring that on Revolut or Wise or Combank. What's that for? Well, we've done an AML KYC. And listen, Mr. Musk, what's that for? Where's that come from? And what's that 500 million? Oh, well, that's for fees. That's to the banks because they've succeeded in raising 80 billion. We give them 500 million of the retail sector. And guess what? A lot of that's come from Gina Reinhart because she put $1 billion in. So she's been paying fees effectively directly to the banks. The banks use the money. They breach the laws. They pay the penalties. The government gets a check and you take it fair up the you-know-where. That's where the anal tearing comes in. It's all making sense now. It's all coming together. So there you go. This is what's happening. Now, the other thing about the transparency, if you get a chance, as another wonderful program on the website, Zucoins.com, check out z8digital.com. This is where you're going to start to see that if you've got questions, you will be going to z8digital.com because there is a massive database. It covers nearly everything we've learned over 7 years, all the screw-ups, all the things that had to be dumbed down, the information that needs to be in place about the site, the system, about SplitChain, about Zutopia, Zucoins, Zucaz. And if you underestimate the marketing side of things that we have the firepower to do, just think back. Zucaz won the 2020 Business Innovation of the Year Award for marketing. We know what we're doing. We do it in our time, on our cycle, when we're ready to unleash. We have the capacity to do that. Some of the stuff we don't need to share with anybody because it's confidentially in-house as we unleash, as we've done with the product itself. We don't go crowing about things like the notification before we finish building it. Remember that? People worrying themselves sick about the timelines and things that were happening. But each box got ticked and is successfully where it is today. So if you go to Z8 Digital, there's one little feature Dr. Zoo was playing earlier today with. Brilliant. If you go to your Zucoin wallet, because you're going to get those that are have got super funds and things, and they need to get their wallets audited. This is the transparency part of the business, because each wallet holds the history, not the blockchain. Think about it. You are the sovereign controller of your data, of your ownership, of your asset. You, the owner of the wallet. That's why we have things like the digital signature when you log into Zutopia. Zutopia doesn't want all your personal crap, because you've got to store it, you've got to secure it, you've got all sorts of problems, you've got regulatory stuff. We don't want that. That's why when you log into Zutopia, you use a signature test to your wallet, which is also one of the great ingenious products that's an unsung hero. It should be for every login in the world. If you log into Combank should wake up one morning and say, let's use the Zucoin wallets, because we can get a signature test against the ownership, which proves the login. We don't need to worry about passwords and forgotten passwords and people stealing things and accounts with aggregated data, and there's millions of accounts that are sold on the dark web with all this personal information. Stripe do that. Zutopia doesn't. Now, you do the same when you go, if you go into Z8 Digital, they do the same login. You put your wallet, and away it goes. It locks and loads. It locks it into your new Z8 Digital app. And all the world comes together in terms of questions and queries. You basically shouldn't need support at Zucoins.com or support at Zutopia.com. It's there. Seek and ye shall find. Seek and you shall find, people. Now, what's an example of some of the things aside from questions in Z8 Digital? Well, let me tell you this. Dr. Zoo played with it. He went to his Zucoin wallet. He downloaded or exported a CSV file of all the transactions in that particular wallet. And he had that on his download, on his phone. Then he opened up the Z8 Digital app. And in there's a U-Boot function where you can upload the CSV file, and it will miraculously, one press of the button, create a file, people, of all the data and the history of whatever you've done. It's absolutely brilliant. And you just send that little sucker off to your accountant or your tax, if that's what you've got a problem with, or your super fund. Then they can verify it against the split chain with the Explorer. And there it is. Boom, shakalaka. Fully transparent data and information provided. Now, the good thing is, when you go in, it's perfectly clear that because this is on your phone and your app that this is happening from, Z8 Digital, just like Zutopia, doesn't want to know who the hell you are or what you're doing or that data. It doesn't store any of that data. Zero. Zip. It's allowing you to process that data to create the file that you want. Now, these are the sort of things that are happening behind the scenes of people starting to wanting to do all sorts of U-Boot features, because they're starting to think. They're starting to realise what the firepower is of the entirety of the ecosystem, which is now starting to unravel itself on the website. There's plenty of information there. I would encourage you to have a look at the latest video. You can find it. It's there. It tells you everything that's happened. It's created effectively a record of the journey of 7 years in one big hit to give your heads spinning with excitement. And you leave the rest to us. You leave it to us. As soon as we unleash that Zutopia, we'll be full throttle. And then, of course, you know what will happen? All these queries about where's the marketing up to and what are you doing, all that sort of stuff. That'll all go, because the prices will be taking care of itself and they have nothing to talk about. But anyway, we'll talk about the products, because there's a lot of work ahead of us from Dr. Zoo. There's a lottery to be done. There's share takeovers to be done. There's the government court case worth absolute billions to be done and tokenised. There's the alligator blood case, another one. That's a biggie. Dr. Zoo's hoping to bank quite a few $1 million in the next couple of weeks on the back of that one, because guess what? Turns out there was no blood taken. Now, that means one of two things: incompetence, or there's a cover-up. Dr. Zoo's hoping to make the story and the journey that there's a cover-up at these bureaucratic levels, because it's exciting, it's interesting. You say, what's the relevance? So the relevance is because that industry, people, is another industry of people that are hurting. Owners, trainers, jockeys, It's worldwide. It's another database. It's a database. It's not just another story. Dr. Zoo's connections around the world is all about database. He can meet someone in the street that hasn't got two bob to rub together, or he's got a couple of billionaires that are interested in what's going on. You wouldn't believe the connections. One day I'll share with you our great friends up there at the elephant farm in Thailand today. I know you're listening. We're trying to help the language. I was sort of thinking about you guys up there using Dr. Zoo as part of your English lessons, but not quite sure that's a good thing or not. But hopefully you can understand what Dr. Zoo's saying, guys, because there's going to come a day when I will be visiting that sanctuary. And William and his team, fantastic, unbelievable stuff. Your partners in that business are incredible. Won't say who they are, but unbelievable. And the connectivity. They say you're only 6 degrees of separation from anybody on the planet. I think that's pretty right. If you really think hard and deep about where you want to go and who you want to see, there is an opportunity to achieve that outcome. That's Dr. Zoo's philosophy. So it's all about, it's not hard with marketing when you don't ask for money, people. Try and get this in your head as to why it's so easy. It's database revenue sharing. You're not asking merchants for money. You're not asking for the consumers. If you want to buy a Zucoin, go ahead and buy it. If you don't, then buzz off. Go and stick to your old coins like the Hock 2 coin that imploded within 24 hours, $400 million. Go and stick to those sort of 13.4 million coins that don't exist, or run around trying to work out how to get your coins out of exchanges and all the problems they've caused, because we alluded to that. Dr. Zoo was on record. Very excited about some of the, well, he likes to think a bit of vision comes into play, but most of it comes from experience. All the hard yards that Dr. Zoo's done, we all get the benefit of. That's why, exactly why, we talk about trusts, we talk about limited partnerships, we talk about asset protection. I've shared that with you. You know, down the road, there's some little lurky out there that wants to bring you down. As soon as you get a few bob in the pocket, as soon as they start to realise you've got this new car in the front drive, guess what? Someone wants to get it. You don't know who it is or where it is at the moment, but they're out there, these lurkies. This is the society we live in. So Dr. Zoo's got quite a good blend of things. He can say, yes, he was bankrupt. He was bankrupt. So what? That's just part of the course. But at the end of the day, if he's worth billions, or his trust is, Dr. Zoo's never going to be worth anything. It's always in the trusts. We've said that on the record. Why is the Gulfstream there? Because it's in the trust. That's why. Because if you get once bitten, twice shy. Famous saying. Once bitten, twice shy, people. Don't want to go near it. Now, why are we so happy? Well, we are, because one, we woke up today, and two, we're just happy, so happy with the motor is running so good. The testing, which is on the Zutopia, people, we keep testing. We don't stop. We're introducing stuff that the testers have got testers. And they've got automated testers. They've got AI now. We should be able to pinpoint with near absolute perfect accuracy your screw-ups. I say that with great respect. And sometimes people come up with things you wouldn't believe. Now, I got a bloke the other day, just an example. This is the sort of stuff that we get confronted with. Came back and said, the SplitChain search engine's not working. It's not working. Why? Let's have a look. And we've got to investigate this stuff. We've got to spend the time. We can't just say and fob it off and say you're a dill. We have to investigate, because it could be something to do with the technology. We like to know whether it's something to do with the tech rather than someone being a dill. Anyway, turns out he was a dill. Why? Because he was taking a screenshot of his wallet address and putting the screenshot into the field. Well, guess what? That's going to go nowhere. Screenshots, you try that. See how that goes. You got to copy and paste. It's not hard. You go to the receive button at the bottom of your Zucoin wallet. You press it. You press the share thing. You can press the copy and put it in. That's how the phone works. That's extraordinary. So we had the old, but at least we know it's not the tech, people. We know it's not the tech. We thought there might have been something wrong with the whole thing. We'd have to close shop. That's how bad it gets sometimes. But turns out it was a screenshot. And what about the other bloke? Another one. Cracker. Doesn't work. You guys are having us on. It's a scam. Why? Well, it doesn't work, he said. I put the wallet address in and it's not working. How did you do it? We go through it again. We waste a few hours of our lives, but we've got to do it. We've got to listen and learn and see if there is something. There could be something in it, because sometimes we do have things that come through the desk and they're mind-blowingly fantastic. They're things that we said, shit, we wish we'd have done that. And we do. We change it. Anyway, what's happened with this bloke? Didn't realise there's a difference between the letter O and the number 0. One's a bit longer than the other. And he was hand typing in his wallet address. That in itself is an achievement. If you ever looked at the wallet address, there's more characters in there than a Disney movie. But anyway, that's what he wanted to do. He didn't want to copy and paste. He wanted to put the wallet address character by character into the split chain fields, and got mixed up with the zeros and O's, and therefore it didn't work. Unbelievable. But at least we now know. We now know those sort of things. That's the sort of stuff we deal with day to day. Again, more than happy. If you think you've got a problem and it's not your problem, you think it's really serious enough, send it with a screenshot. support@zucoins.com or support@zutopia.com. I can't impress that enough. We want to see this stuff, because if you've got it solved and you found a little glitch, then the next person won't get it. And next thing, you're going to wake up and you'll say, gee, the boy's got 1 million or 2 million or 5 million people on the system and we haven't got any problems. In fact, we have had zero. As far as Dr. Zoo's aware from the team, we've had 0 people, as we've had more and more onboarding of wallets, of people with a problem on how to get a Zutopia wallet up and about, all because we've solved that copy. Another great solution. You go and do that with Apple somewhere else, people, because they have the little band there at the back end on deep links. Android didn't. Apple did. We got around that. It's working magnificent. One press button. If you can't press the install button to get your Zutopia up and running, well, you're better off going doing something else. Wash dishes. There's plenty of jobs out there. Cleaning floors. All good jobs worthy of your attention, rather than trying to play with phones and electronic things and devices. You'll only get yourself in trouble. Don't come near crypto. Stay away. Go and take out some money out of the bank and put your $100 bills in your back wallet and try and hold on to that. See how that goes. That's the differential. Now, I was going to delve in. We've got a little bit of time here about why we're very happy with smashing the technology comparison between Bitcoin and Zucoins out of the park. No question. If you think we haven't, bring it on. Challenge Dr. Zoo. See how we go. Those comparisons are being revised and up and about. They're on the website right now. You have a look at it. For all the great reasons which you have, this early adopters have come in and taken the risks, and you're seeing the benefit of that technology. I think I'll leave it till Monday. We're going to talk about Ethereum with its current problems, because it is a train wreck. Good old Vitalik's come out on the other day, and he's called it the lean Ethereum roadmap of what he wants to solve. And it's another mess. And I say to you now, Vitalik, give me a call. Dr. Zoo wants to talk to you. You're stuffed. Ethereum is going down the proverbial, where. There's going to be a lot of anal tearing going on in that organisation, even though they've lost a lot of employees, I can assure you, because this roadmap to 2029 is a disaster, because you haven't got the core of your technology right. Everything you want to do, Mr. Vitalik, is exactly what we currently already do and what we are heading into with our tokens, our Zoo tokens. You are in real trouble. But you've got billions and billions of dollars running through that little engine, all because of fees and all the rest of it. But we'll talk about that on Monday, because what I'm going to do now, special treat, I'm going to now have a look finally at some of these questions, because there's a few that have built up. Dr. Zoo loves it. Oh, here we go. Look, now I mentioned about this convention. I know who this person is, Brave Harmony. Brave Harmony. We'll leave it at that. I'm not going to disclose who you are, but your property at Kaibong, they are creating, it's an extraordinary concept up there. It's like Fireman and Woodstock and some of those nudie camps down there in Victoria. It's not that they do that yet, but that's always, on the agenda possibly. But they have a a community up there. It's actually a place at Kaibong, and it would be fantastic to have a serious group of Zucoin early adopters that have been through hell and back and listened to the dribble and the negative stuff and the half glass wombats and come out of the blocks and get up to the Kaibong festival, because we can really sit back and relax. You know, you've got money in the bank, on the wallet actually. Hopefully, plenty of merchants and plenty of price rise, and everybody having a great time. And it would be an absolute hoot, because I can tell you now, in a world first, you've got someone created the Singapore Sling. Now that's a nice drink. Dr. Zoo's been up there at Raffles, threw his peanuts on the floor and watched the big tigers come in the door and all that. That was fantastic. But the Kaibong drink is going to be a hoot. It actually has a bong as part of the drink program, and you'll love it. It's got Dr. Zoo. I'm getting tingles now just thinking about it. Thinking about the Kaibong drink. Can't recall what the second part of that word was going to be as a drink, but it's definitely the Kaibong Smash or something like that. That's awesome. So we say cheerio to you guys. You're great supporters. You've got some huge connections up there that we haven't even tapped into around the world. You wouldn't believe this 6-degree separation. You know, the Kaibong community, middle of absolutely nowhere. It's up there near the Whakaari tribe. And let me tell you, these two people have got absolute sleepers sitting around the world that we can unleash when we want with our marketing and stuff. And you're fantastic, and you're actually testers as well, so you know exactly what we're on about and how it's working, and you've been fabulous. But cannot wait to have the Kaibong drink. Huge. Now, Timid Buddy. Oh, me little buddy. Oh, I love this bloke. I'm not going to go into all your stuff today because you seem to be a bit more quiet and relaxed on these fronts, but I'm on fire because we know the concept works, the system's working beautifully, and we're into the fun part. We'll just switch it on Zutopia for you, Timid. You can relax. We'll do all the heavy lifting. Don't you worry. Dr. Zoo, as soon as that Oztrack gets switched on, you just relax. I'll spend the money here. The millions are required to keep the compliance, stuff in order, and you can sit back and, you'll only have to pay us few fees to Stripe, because that's not our fees. You won't pay any fees on the network because there's zero, and you don't have to share your profits that you'll make on the coins. You just take it easy and relax. So don't worry about the marketing. Don't get yourself in a lather. You just sit back, and what you should do though is have a look at zukaz.com and reflect upon the firepower of things we did since 2019, and that hasn't lost any momentum whatsoever. It's been needed to be effectively re-engineered and built, that merges in with the tokenization that explodes the utility growth that Dr. Zoo's talking about. And if you need that sort of information on the marketing, in fact, it's on the latest video that I just talked about earlier. You take a squiz at that, have a look. If you've got any questions, we can circle back to you, Timid, next week, mainly on Monday, if that's all right. Let's go. We've got a question here, is a very important one. Peaceful Guest, if we can load someone else's wallet, does that mean we can transfer their coins to our own wallet? No, it doesn't. No. Well, that's a two-edged double naughty sort of question, that one. But no, basically it's just that you can any public wallet address, you can visibly put it into the search because it's on the public ledger. Unlike the blockchain, if you go and search a blockchain for Bitcoin, you can see the entire history. There's a full tracking right through to since the first coin that came in from Satoshi. In fact, if you listen to some of the reports, that's exactly why people can see whether people are accessing their old wallets, going right back to Satoshi, which is why CZ the other day suggested a fork in the road. And that means that, a gang of tech heads get together and change the way the Bitcoin blockchain supposedly works, which is dangerous. This is why we've smashed Bitcoin out of the park, because you can't get wombats playing with your coins or freezing things. And in that instance, you get to see the entire history since the first, few coins were created back in 2009. Now, all you can see on the split chain is the last transaction. So yes, you could have one of Dr. Zoo's wallets, and Dr. Zoo could share with you his public wallet address, and you'll be able to put that in yourself, and you could see that last transaction and the balance on that wallet from Dr. Zoo. No big deal, not a biggie. The point is, though, Dr. Zoo might have had 50 transactions before or after that in other wallets, and that balance you might see might only be one coin. It mightn't be all of the entirety of the total coins that are seen. But nevertheless, yes, you cannot transfer coins. It cannot, if you haven't got access to the wallet itself, which has the private key, which is the trigger that creates the signature, that creates the two-factor authentication between two parties, you're stuffed. You can jump up and down till the cows come home, and you won't see absolutely no ability to transfer anything just because you've got the public wallet address. In fact, that's where our great man, Robert, I know he's listening, our CTO, he's going to be on Time Magazine one day. I've said it, I'll say it again, Dr. Zoo can see it happening. It's so exciting that the Fin Review has put us into stage 2. That's a huge accolade in itself about the technology. But that's why we get excited, is that it's starting to show results from third parties around us. But that's why the great man is so focused that by the end of 2026, he wants to see everything locked and loaded for quantum safe protection with your wallets, the way it's designed with those private keys and things, because Bitcoin is going to get smashed. And when I get to talk to you about Ethereum next week, that's one of the problems that poor old Vitalik's concerned about. He wants to try and make quantum protection a key plank in his roadmap to the end of 2029. So already he's in trouble. He's worried about it. We're not. He is. And if that happens, every single Ethereum ever created since inception is vulnerable to attack and could be smashed out of the park, smashed to bits. Wouldn't be worth 2 bob. Same with Bitcoin. That's why they're now panicking. We're not. As I said to you before, I can recall an email of this thought process being in Robert's head back in 2020. That was even before they were thinking that quantum was anywhere near going to be advanced on the scale it is today. Because at that time, look at what happened. We're now talking about it's right at our doorstep now, not in the year 2035. And you can kiss your bank accounts there in goodbye if your banks and things don't sort this out, because everything is vulnerable to a quantum attack. Everything. Personal data. There's an article. We've given you the articles. You've got the information. Dr. Zoo, working down his little Nostradamus road, has warned you about this. And that could be one of the great black swans that come out of nowhere. And all of a sudden, there you go. Now, Magnificent Citizen, episode 87 is coming up, not episode 88. That's right, because we haven't finished 88 yet. That's right now. You are live now. So if you're listening, which you are because you're putting in the commentary here, you are listening to episode 88. When this show finishes, the team get together, they press a few AI buttons, they regurgitate what you've heard, which is correctly recording everything I've just said, and they will put that up into that space, and it's repeating there on the screen, which will be episode 88. So 87 will be replaced with 88, and it also is a link that says past episodes, and you'll see 88 there as well. And again, we have a couple of different scenarios. We have people that are really keen to listen to what Dr. Zoo's got to say. We have others that get frustrated and can't be bothered and chop and change during the course of the show. And then we have others that have been using Dr. Zoo to get to sleep at night. That's the fluffy pillow syndrome. So that's where they play the episode, and funnily enough, it's been working and they're getting a good night rest because they just listen to Dr. Zoo's voice, as they are currently doing right now, here and now, in the Mekong, the river up there, Thailand. We love you guys. You know that. And keep looking after our elephants because no one else is doing it. It's an absolute disaster and train wreck. Now, we'll wrap up with a couple of others here. Yes, caring newbie. Does that mean you can access the balance of others? That means yes, you can. That's the whole point of the combination between the public and private. You've got your history of private data retained on your localized version of the history, but not like Bitcoin or Ethereum or Monero or any of those sort of coins where you have the entire history of your life, of every single transaction that the public can view. You only have the last balance, but you might decide that that particular wallet you used transfers coins to a new wallet and you just leave a smaller sum in the other wallet. In fact, we encourage you to do that. If you're trading, when you do hit your straps on Zutopia, don't go out there and suddenly expose yourself to truckloads of Zucoins if you don't need it. If you're buying or selling, just open a brand new wallet. It's not hard. You know how to do it. You've done this before, and transfer the coins that you want to sell onto that new wallet. Keep your other one safe and sound and backed up and tucked away and off your phone and all that. And then just use that new wallet with that number of coins that you want to play with as part of your connectivity to Zutopia. Zutopia doesn't store any of the coins. It doesn't store any of the data. All it does is it checks the split chain, just like you guys are doing, and says, yes, you are real. This wallet does have some coins in it. Therefore, we will allow the ability for you to trade, because we don't want idiots in there pretending. We don't want bots. We don't want, naughty naughties. And that allows the system to say, yes, we can trigger that now. And therefore, you've got a sale up there that'll allow you to process that to Stripe for your KYC. And when a buyer comes in and buys your coins, we can verify that on the split chain, just like you can do. And of course, you do your off-market trading. You transfer those coins to someone else's wallet. And as a result of that confirmation, we then get instructions from you guys electronically that says, yes, release that money that's been put into a pre-authorization and transferred directly to the seller. It works beautiful. If you go to the new video today, that is in there. That process is in the video. It makes it and steps it out very clear, very exciting how it works, unlike any other exchange in the world. Now, if there's any other CEOs out there of exchanges, give us a call, because as far as Dr. Zoo is aware, right here, right now, there is not a single exchange on the planet that does what I've just described, where the exchange doesn't take fees in, doesn't sit there in custodialship of money or coins. And that's how we want it. We don't want to get caught up in that mess. You do your 3DS, you do your checks, you get your KYC done, you're clear, you got green light, because you're legitimately buying or selling. We don't want wombats. For those around the world that don't know what a wombat is, it can be or cannot be an affectionate term for certain people. But we don't want the wombats in the unaffectionate way. So just think about that. Now, Rocket Man's here. Welcome, Rocket Man. You've been doing some great testing, I know. Incredible. Spot on too. Very good. Now, Rocket Man did raise a point the other day about the CGT tax issues. Won't get it too deep into that at the moment, but the reality is there is a exclusion there and certain conditions about going overseas. But Rocket Man, the trick to that is you wouldn't leave your assets here even though you're overseas. You would take your coins with you and hold them in the place of residence that you're going to do if you're going to move overseas. Some nice spots this time of year. New Zealand comes to mind. Singapore's a beauty. There's a lot of quiet time on Malta. You can even get some excitement out there if you want a bit of hot water out of the Cayman Islands. And as I said the other day, the US Virgin Islands, you get that sort of the mighty US of A behind you. You can get some really good long-term tax breaks as a business there, better than here in Australia. And you get some nice weather. You just got to duck and weave from the occasional hurricane. If you can miss those and get yourself in a bunker, you'll be fine. It's no problems. A little bit of wind hasn't hurt anybody. Get out there, but they're the sort of countries you can be if you then shift the coins, which you can do, and have them reside in that jurisdiction and not get caught by that exemption, Rocket Man. If you do the other way, which is what you've indicated, then yes, you could get caught and get tangled up with the CGT changes there. Now, that's not advice. I'd never give advice. I just try and share information of what Dr. Zoo's read or heard, and that's one of the things that he's read about because you brought it to his attention. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, Rocket Man, spot on. I should have read your thing there earlier, Rocket Man, about that do transactions with a wallet with a small amount in it curb that concern. It does indeedy. And it's a safe thing to do in any event because it allows it to be part and parcel of your strategy for protecting your coins as well. You just don't want to have. You're going to look. You get $1,000 a coin US, and you're going to start to get into real. The next phase of the concern will be, holy hell, I've got all this wealth now. I've got to protect it, because you can't go and ring anybody up and say I want a refund for XYZ. It will not happen. You lose it, you do it. That's it. It's gone. Gonski. So that'll be the next phase, but at least you've been educated, and we've learnt a lot of things as a result of the soft launch in Zutopia, as a result of the time we've taken with changes to the core of the split chain and the Zucoin and the speeds and notifications. We've learned a lot, and that's all in preparation for a lot more people to come on board, that by your hard work, your risks and your feedback will benefit others. Funnily enough, it'll benefit you as well, because the more comes in, the quantity theory of money takes over, and you suddenly will go back one day and you'll say, wow, how good was season 1 of It's Zoo Time? And you're going to look at the episode 3 and 4, which was around the 17th of September 2021, and say, Dr. Zoo was on the money. That's what he was talking about. That's what he was talking about. He wasn't given financial advice. He was just talking about the pure maths of adoption. And I know you found it hard. You found it hard because you wanted to get out there in a hurry, as Dr. Zoo wants to be with a few bob in the account. But sometimes the old turtle, that's what we do. You'd get the turtle, and look what happens. I'm going to wrap up on one more. There we go. It's the Kai Bong cocktail. People, take note. That is going to be resonating around the world. And if you know what a bong is, you'll know what the Kai Bong is, because the Kai Bong cocktail is going to be super, super excited about that. I've already spoken to some people, and we have some big plans down the road for people. We're not talking about, you rolling out heaps of dough. We're talking about getting community together and feeding it back through some of the ability of price rise profits that can be generated to do that. And we want to, some of it will be pretty laid back, but there'll be geniuses there. Developers will rock in. They'll talk all their sort of high-tech crap. You'll get all the specialists and advisors, and suddenly there'll be gurus on how split chain works, just like what happened with Bitcoin and blockchain. Everybody's a genius. And yet, if you peel it back, it's quite stupid, really. As Dr. Zoo said in the past, who in the hell wants to have, every single transaction since the history of mankind recorded on a ledger? Got to be joking. Would have killed Dr. Zoo in the old days as an accountant, running around with cash books. Some of the Gen Z don't even know what a cash book is. Let me tell you, it's an exciting book. Used to keep a record of all the stuff that went on. Plus, you couldn't change it. A lot of the entries were put in from a lot of the clients, and they get it wrong. Next thing, you've got to get the whiteout. Now, people don't even know what whiteout is. But for those that don't know whiteout, that's where you change the record by putting white ink on the top. What a concept that was. Anyway, that's for another day. Now, let's see here. So, Timid Buddy, I bought Zucoins from you at $100 a few years ago. Well, thank you very much. That'll be a cheap price at some stage, we said. If you bought $100 worth of Bitcoin a few years ago, you wouldn't be whinging. That's just all about the price. That's how it is. And you have every opportunity in the world to average down. Zoo, let me just paint the picture for you. Dr. Zoo does spend his own money, and there is $50-odd million of Dr. Zoo's own money in the project that really can be recoverable from the limited amount that he's got left, plus the ability to make money on Zutopia and the tokenization in the future. But don't you worry about that, Timmer Buddy. No one forced you to buy anything. That's the beauty of crypto. That's the beauty of crypto. You knew the risks. You can rest assured that there's been a team of people working for you at no cost to you, 24/7, and that's what we do. That's how we work our way through to try and deliver the outcomes, so that $100 at some stage in the future, you'll be looking back saying, wow, that was the best thing ever happened, compared to, whinging about $100 worth of Bitcoin. Even now, it's $62,000 US. Gee, even though Dr. Zoo competes with Bitcoin and bags out in terms of the technology, because without Bitcoin, we would not be here today to say that we've re-engineered the ability to make it better, efficient, more seamless, global, transferable, secure, all those wonderful things. But if Dr. Zoo had some $100 Bitcoins, he'd still be a very happy man. Very happy indeedy. Having said that, Dr. Zoo did look at Bitcoin back in 2010, started to get excited because when he ran easy bonds on a global scale, which is the early version, if you look that up, you'll see that that's one of the first fintech global money transfer remittance businesses for merchants, etc., that was built. And we hit a roadblock because the processing of the companies accelerated the chargebacks, which is why Dr. Zoo has so much experience in the chargeback space with MasterCard and Visa. And that's all been engineered and put into the value for Zutopia. We never think nothing goes to waste, but it was a terrible experience because Dr. Zoo thought Bitcoin was the answer to globalized money transfers. It turns out it was a disaster because you have to wait those days hours to get verification into the blockchain, layer one, and you had to pay fees. So you couldn't transfer $1.35 from here to Germany back in those days because Bitcoin sucked it out in fees, blew it apart, and the miners and all the rest of it. It didn't work. But let me tell you, it works now. You can send 0.00001 of a fraction of a Zucoin without a single fee, 24 hours a day. In fact, there was some transactions done the other day down there in New Zealand. We had some people down there, and they were excited. They were sitting up there on some mountaintop, Queenstown might have been. And yeah, lo and behold, there we go. It worked beautifully. Fractions, seamless, secure, notifications. You will not get that with Bitcoin, which is why Dr. Zoo was interested in Bitcoin in the first place. And then the journey started from there because we wanted to make sure that if we're going to achieve the outcomes, we've succeeded 100%. We've been running Zucoin wallets for 4 years. It's beautiful. If you follow the instructions, it hasn't been a problem. People haven't been scamming each other. The crypto there, the digital value's there. And Timid, don't you worry, mate. We're here to help you. We'll make that $100 look like one of the greatest things you've ever done in your life. But again, you took the risk. You do what you do. You bought it. No one forced you. No one forces you to sell. But if you take a bit more chance and you want to average down, then now's the time, because there will be some people that want to sell cheap, and you could be in box seat. And we'll take you on tour. Don't you worry. We will take you up there to Kaibong so you can enjoy a Kaibong cocktail, and we'll give you a cuddle. We always give people cuddles, good, bad, or otherwise. So there you go. Now I'm going to wrap up. It's gone. We're over the time. Rocket Man's answering more questions than Dr. Zoo can do here, which is awesome. Now, there was one there about the Zucaz quickly. That's correct. Zucaz version 2 does both now. It does the hunt, which was absolutely sensational. Sensational to go hunting for coins. That's a very, very big role in our marketing. And although it's expanded a bit more now because we didn't have this back then, we now have the ability that the Zucaz wallet is an all-in-one wallet. You actually don't need a Zucoin wallet. It's exactly the same, except it's blended in to a single wallet called Zucaz. You can have either. And there'll be other people creating other wallets. Let me tell you that. What we've done is created a single-purpose wallet that handles all of the Zucoins as your current Zucoin wallet does, except it allows you to do some absolutely incredible stuff. You can go hunting. You can collect your tokens of the fractions of Zucoins from merchants. You can create QR codes. You can redeem them in the shop. You can redeem them online. You can put them on Zutopia to trade. You can make money. You can do what you like. And what we didn't have, just so you're aware, is the instant gratification of a merchant. If that's your favorite, or the product of the merchant is in your favorites in the Zucaz wallet, you can press a button and you will receive 24 hours a day vouchers or tokens that come directly from the merchant. That, people, hasn't been done before. let me tell you, that is a revolution in itself in advertising. That is worth another innovation award because it smashes out of the park all these big guns that are sucking money out of you guys like Facebook that had $16 billion of phony sales through scam AI bots, and you got sucked into impressions that were paid by the merchants for no reason. That money can go directly into the pocket of consumers, of which you get to decide what you want to do with it. Use it, redeem it, or trade it. This will be a money-making machine for people that want to trade. And we know, why do we know that? Because that's exactly what our testing did some years ago with the university students. They went ballistic. Instead of having the $20 voucher to go drinking, they on-sold it to someone else that wanted to go drinking. Sold it for $5 or $10, and away they went. These are the things that we know have been tested and work. It's not airy-fairy dream stuff. It's part of the big picture of the ecosystem. It's a little bit touched on in the video. Have a look. Have a look. Away you go. All right, people. I think that's about it for today. I think we've covered a fair bit of ground. I want to talk about Ethereum because that's my next focus. We don't worry about Bitcoin anymore. That's dead and buried. Dead and buried. And we're now going to tackle the big one, the big elephant in the room, Ethereum, which is where all the big dollars is being made on tokens, smart contracts. Why they're in trouble. What I'll be doing is comparing where we sit, why we're better, simply out of the mouths of Vitalik himself, based on his lean roadmap solution, which is putting up the white flag. Ethereum's in trouble. They've had a huge amount of people that have left the foundation, and that's very interesting in itself. So we'll keep moving along. We'll give some updates. As I said, whenever it happens, that advice comes in from Austrac. You, I, Robert, the team, people around the world will know about it instantly, and we just flick that green button on, as we will with behind the scenes things we're doing, and give more indication as to, you'll see what's going on with Zucaz and our marketing and so on. Stay with it. Just listen to this little ditty, and we will be back on deck Monday. Look forward to it. Cheers, everybody.
Your blockchain line transaction fees, oh, they were so high. But then I found a new way to pay. The Zucoins king saved the day. No miners, no fees, it's fast and free. Transactions happen instantly. A real-time flow, just you and me in a world of Zucoin harmony. Oh, Zucoins, you're the future we see. No delays, no fees, you're eco-friendly. SplitChain powered peer-to-peer. Zucoins are the crypto that we all cheer. Fast and secure, we can't deny. 100,000 transactions flying high. Scalable, green, and full of might. Zucoin shines so bright. Bitcoin takes a little too long, but with Zucoins we can't go wrong. 1 million